It has been 8 years of people waiting, and the newest Party Next Door album, P4, is finally here. But after 8 years, is the party still next door, or are we looking for somewhere else to go party? We'll discuss that in our review right here today on InCrowd Network. Let's go. What's up, guys? I am Aaron, and this is InCrowd Network. As I mentioned, I am here to discuss P4, the Party Next Door. It's been 8 years. He has not dropped a full project. He's done some work here and there, but he has not released a full project in 8 years. So what has he done in these 8 years? Did he disappoint us or not? Well, let's talk about it. First, I'll start off with things that I did not like about this album. I did not like the fact that Party Next Door has spent 8 years before putting out a full project, and he didn't do any work in terms of his vocal range. I expected to hear better range from him. I expected to hear less reliance on auto-tune, and we don't get that. We get what we normally would have gotten from a Party Next Door album, and I think that Party Next Door fans would be very happy with this because this is what Party has done in the past. But I would have expected a little bit of growth from an artist like that. So we don't really get that. Secondly, like I said, there's a lot of reliance on auto-tune. I don't think that I appreciated the reliance on the auto-tune, but what made things even worse for me is the fact that there are certain parts of the album where the auto-tuning is so bad that it almost sounds unprofessional. It almost sounds like someone did this auto-tuning themselves on a laptop in their spare time. You expect a little bit more tightening up of those vocals when using auto-tune from a professional album like this. Party is a big enough artist where I think we should have gotten a little bit better work when it comes to that. Now, that aside, the actual production on the album is not bad. The vibe that he is looking to set on this album has been set because Party Next Door is going to set the vibe. You know that. He raps, he sings, and he's one of those artists that you can just turn it on. It's kind of like that music that's kind of love-making music, but chill music, but also driving music, but also spending time with your young lady or man, if that's what you're into. He does a good job of that. He definitely does a good job of setting that vibe. So that aside, the things that I did like on this album is just how it played out. I honestly, at first, did not realize that Party Next Door he's giving us a concept album with a story that plays out throughout the entire album. And that personally is the reason why I enjoyed it so much, because at first I thought that this is really subpar writing on this album, coupled with subpar singing and not the greatest rapping, and you got a subpar album. But when you pay attention to the fact that there's a story playing out here, it really enhances the experience of the album. At the end of each track, there is an exchange that takes place where he is talking to a young lady, or young ladies are talking to each other, or voicemail, whatever the case is, and it flows into the next track, and whatever was on that message, you can definitely hear that that's the concept that was being sung about in the next track. So, for instance, on the very first track of the album, it goes into a track called Lose My Mind, where they sample DMX, the DMX, y'all gonna make me lose my mind. That is sampled, but it is toned down. It does not interrupt any of the music or vocals here, and it works really well. They blended that so well, and I thought that was one of the most interesting ways of using a sample in my opinion, because they didn't try to change much about it, but the way it blended in just worked perfectly. So I thought that was really nice. There's another track in which the track is called Cheers, and clearly he's having a good time. And then at the end of the track, him and the lady he's with are having a bit of an argument about a lady approaching him. And he's saying to her, look, she only offered me a drink. And his lady is not trying to hear that, so she pretty much dumps him. And then on the next track, as he's singing, the next track is called Till the Morning. And he's basically telling her, like, hey, you know what? Let's not do this tonight. Let's not argue. Let's make love. Let's get to the next morning. That's pretty much what he's saying to her. And it's building on that concept. It's building on that story that I'm mentioning. And that track is one of my personal favorites. Make It to the Morning. Absolutely love the track. Beautiful vocals. I just love the vibe that's set by this one. Another big highlight on the album, as I mentioned, is the track Cheers. He's doing a great job with the way this album plays out. I think that it overall will be something that PartyNextDoor fans are going to pretty much call like a perfect album, because he gives you what Party normally does give you, and he's putting a concept on it, and he's doing it really well. Me personally, I'm not the hugest PartyNextDoor fan, but I did enjoy this album, which is why I'm coming in with a 7 out of 10 on this album, simply because I think that his vocals could have been better. I think that the auto-tuning could have been better. Some of the writing could have been slightly better, but it does do what it needs to do, because, as I mentioned, he is portraying a story here. So all in all, I definitely did enjoy this album. I think it's worth a listen. I'm going to continue to listen to it just because of that story element. It really has engulfed me into the album. It really has engulfed me into the story. And I want to hear a little bit more of his vocals and just listen to it on a deeper level. But you tell me what you think. Have you listened to this album? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think that I was off with my review? Go ahead, sound off in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Also, do not hesitate to visit us on other platforms. We're on TikTok, we're on X, we're on YouTube, clearly, we're on Instagram. So check out the entire InCrowd network. I am Aaron. This was my review of P4 by PartyNextDoor. Till next time, guys. Peace.